Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing. We're at an afternoon edition of my live interview series, Social Media Pie Live, and I have a very special guest with me here today, Judi Hayes. Hey, Judi, how are you doing today?
All right, I'm good. I'm great.
Good. I just put some sunglasses on, Judi, because you and I were talking about this before, and it's the afternoon, and usually by the afternoon, my eye makeup starts to get a little crazy, and we were just talking about we had to like reapply lipstick to get like ready for video here, right? But this is like, I don't know if you use this, Judi. This is like one of my hacks when it's like later on and my eyes start to look tired. Don't I look fabulous now instead?
You are ready for the beach.
So I want to say good afternoon and welcome. If you are watching, I would love it if you guys could please drop a comment below. That lets us know that people are watching. And it's kind of like in the pre-pandemic days when we would be speaking in an audience and we would tap the microphone and say, "Can you guys hear me in the back?" And then the people in the back would give us a thumbs up, Judi, or they'd be like, "We can't hear you." And then we'd have to talk to the tech guy. So if you're watching this, if you could leave a comment, I would love it. And even if you're watching this in playback later on, still leave a comment. That lets us know the live stream is picking up. I usually wait for like one person to comment, Judi, before I move on from this part. So while we're waiting for those comments to start coming in, I just want to kind of kick this off for today. Judi is one of the LinkedIn rock stars, the people I've been tracking on the platform for a while. And she messaged me, was it earlier this week or was it last week? I think it was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was last week. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time's kind of like weird right now. But she said, "Hey, I have some questions. I know you just finished publishing a book. I have some questions for you." And she's like, "Can we jump on a call?" And I said, "You know what would even be better? Let's do a LinkedIn Live and then let's like broadcast this to the world. And that way we get the benefit, Judi and you know, and myself, we get the benefit of learning from each other, but you guys will get the benefit from learning from us as well. So we're going to make this a fun conversation today. And I do see the comments are starting to come in. So it looks like the live stream is working. Let me see if I can pop one up on screen here. Now my mouse went away. I can't find my mouse. Found it. Okay, there we go. So now we see the comments starting to come in. These are showing LinkedIn user. And if you have like the gray photo and it says LinkedIn user, it either means your privacy settings are a little bit more restrictive, or you haven't enabled the third-party application share. I'll put a quick comment in here so you guys can see that. But I want to thank you guys. Continue to drop your comments in. And I want to ask Judi, for those people who don't know about you, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll join the chat.
Well, thanks to you, I've gotten on the LinkedIn Rockstars list, which was actually an amazing resource that you put together. But I work with businesses that sell high-ticket items and want to become visible on LinkedIn. And so what I do is I help them have that visibility and build that credibility. And yeah, that's a lot of what I do.
Awesome. Well, I know I like when we were talking on the show, I'm like, tell us about yourself. You're like, oh, I know. I hate the part where it's like, tell me your life story, tell me about your, but we need to know. We need to know like, who is this character she's talking to today? Is she legitimate? And I think Judi's a rock star. And by the end of the interview, I'm sure our audience will feel the same way as well. So so let's get started with this chat. So Judi, you're on the book publishing journey right now, right? Where are you at in the process?
Okay, this is 204 pages. It is with the publisher. They are sending it to Ingram Spark, I think today or tomorrow. And once Ingram Spark does whatever they do with it, it should be on Kindle hopefully next week. As far as the physical copies, that's a whole nother story. That has to do with supply chain. So if you all heard about things being held up in supply chain, well, guess what? The books are too. So they said we're about 4 weeks out from getting something physical.
Wow.
But you know what? This has been, I gotta tell you, it's been like a year and a half, maybe 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
You know, and I hope the audience can relate to this. I think we all have a book inside of us somewhere. It's like, oh, you know, when you read something, you say, yeah, I could do that. And part of why I wanted to do this was because there's like, you know, all these posts that are out. I wanted to collect everything and put it in a compendium so people could actually use it and get excited about LinkedIn. Because I think that's what Brenda and I and a bunch of other LinkedIn peeps do is we just help make this platform a better platform.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so now it's in a book and yeah, I really, I was so glad when I sent this manuscript off to the publisher. It was just like done.
It's like pride and joy. It's like having a child. It's like, I produced this, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's, yeah. I'm really
So,
pleased.
so it's a LinkedIn book, is that right, Judi? And what do you want to share with us? Do you want to tell us about it? Do you want to tell us the title? Do you want to wait till it all comes out?
No,
Where are you at?
no, 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 and there's nothing. No,
Yeah.
it's called. I named it Elevate, Expand, and Engage, and it's
Okay.
really a what I call a um, refreshingly simple approach to winning on LinkedIn. So what does that
Love
mean?
it.
It means, elevate is when we talk about, the premise of LinkedIn is really elevating our brand, right?
Hmm.
So that's with the profile, and that's the whole visibility concept. Expanding is really growing your network
Yeah.
and really expanding your sphere of influence. And then engaging is where all the one this is engaging. We are doing engaging right now. And engaging is sort of like the fruits of all of that labor.
Right.
And it just keeps going around and around and around. And what I love about LinkedIn is that it's dynamic, which
Yeah.
means you can edit, you can tweak it, you can, like Brenda, you're great at changing your headers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
fresh, and I think that a lot of the companies that I work with, one of the things I hear is fear.
Yeah.
They're afraid of looking stupid. They're afraid of saying the
Right.
wrong thing. They're afraid of whatever. And so that's why I put this in a book to kind of give them a little more confidence.
That's awesome. So where are you at in terms of like, so this is it's being printed by someone, and Kindle will be an electronic version of it. And where can we buy it on Kindle? Is that through Amazon? I'm sorry,
I
I'm not
think,
a Kindle reader, so I should know this, but I'm not a Kindle reader.
yeah,
Kindle is through Amazon, is that right?
it is. And I have to say that I've been working on this thing so long that now this part, it's like, uh-oh. That's why I reached out to you
Yeah.
and John Asperian is another person.
I was gonna say John's another. I mean, I was kind of following him. I was about a year behind in my book publishing journey where he was at. So he was like posting and blogging and talking about it. When he got done, I was like, okay, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? And I ended up working with I did the self-publishing route, but I worked with a coach who works with self-published authors, and he helped to coordinate, you know, finding a local printing company in Michigan that will print the book for me. And then he helped me get it set up on Amazon. So for me, like, you can buy my book direct from my website, and I've actually got like 2.5 boxes left, and then I have to order. And when you talked about the supply chain, I'm like, I don't think I'll be impacted if I reorder, because they're like in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is not too far from me. Is yours an overseas printer that you're using? Is that why it's taking so long?
I think not, because it's a
Okay.
paper bound book, but I think that's kind of an answer. It's supply chain. It's like, okay.
Okay.
I mean, are you going to argue it's supply chain? It's like, who
Right.
knows? But no, I worked with Steve Gordon, the Unstoppable CEO Press.
Okay.
And initially, he has a program where he helps people take their concept to book, right? So you got this idea, and he has a nice multi-step process. And
Mhm.
then he also has a service where he does it. And
Okay.
knowing how I am, not that I'm a procrastinator, but the fact that I knew that I needed someone to just do this, it's like, I'm not going to get this done. Um,
Right.
so I engaged with him to do that. And we'd been working on it. And then COVID happened,
Yeah.
and for a variety of reasons, I didn't want a 2020 copyright. Okay. And also LinkedIn, if you recall, like the past 12 months, there have been some major changes on the
Yeah.
platform.
That
And so,
it has been like, and I even got people when I was like getting ready to hit print, they're like, wait, because there's some big stuff coming around the corner. And I'm like, you guys, LinkedIn's always changing things. The big stuff is not going to be that big.
yeah.
And I ended up, like, the month I was getting ready to send it to the publisher, they changed it was the privacy and settings. Judy, you remember before it was like the top navigation, and
Yep.
then they move it to the left. So I had to like recalibrate a whole chapter, but luckily I didn't do like screen captures because I knew it was changing. Do you have screen captures in your book, or how did you address that?
No, I originally started with that. No,
Yeah.
I just did a couple, but I have some little hand drawings to kind of illustrate some
Okay.
concepts.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and what I did was I linked in the footnotes. I linked to the help section in LinkedIn where that is.
Mm,
So if you
okay.
have the PDF or the Kindle version, it should be activated. In the print version, you actually have this long URL.
URL.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's getting it from, a lot of people get stuck with that, getting it out of your head and getting it
Yeah.
into a form. And the one major advice that I can give people, and I've published books before in my restaurant marketing career, and I never started with a table of contents. I actually did that at the end.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because it depended upon how it sort of came together. And this book did not start out with this elevate, expand, engage. That came towards the end when I was trying to figure out how do I organize this so somebody could actually get through it. So, one tip of advice I'd say is just start writing it. Just start writing what you have. And then at that point, you can start to cut it up, and put it in these little compartments or chapters, whatever you want to call it. But I think once I got past that and then looked at everything and said, well, really, what am I trying to say here? That's how the 3 categories came. And I needed a framework. I think we just talked about this. Everyone's got a framework. Everyone's got a method. It's like, all right, I'll just make a method. So that's what,
Right.
yeah, it's the E3 method.
So I think I just found your Amazon page. Do you mind if I share it
already? Oh my gosh. No, tell me.
Well, I mean, I think this is it because this is your LinkedIn photo. So give me just a second. When you're running a StreamYard, guys, you're doing piloting, co-piloting at the same time. So hopefully I get this right here. All right. I think this is it, right? This looks like you. So I'm going to follow you. Just like on LinkedIn, we can follow. We can also follow authors on Amazon. But your new book is not up here yet, right? This is
yeah. No, it's going to happen very soon. But yeah, these are some of my other books. Wow, this is wild. This is wild
so
stuff.
you got an author page too. So
interesting.
There's a way. It's like I can't remember exactly how to do this, but there's a way you can create and set up your author page on Amazon. I don't know. Do you manage this page, Judi, or do you have somebody who's helping you with your page on Amazon?
I think the answer is I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. So I think it's my page that I'm doing.
So here's, I guess, first piece of advice I have, because Amazon's such a big player in the market nowadays. And a lot of people, like when they buy the book, like even for my book, you can buy it direct from me, but a lot of people just go to Amazon automatically to look it up. So there's a way that you can like set up a bio for yourself. And I kind of use part of the bio I had for my website on here, an about description on here. And then,
I'm sorry.
At the bottom of your page, it'll say learn more at Author Central. I'm going to actually grab this link and I'm going to send it to you so you can.
Oh, I love this. I love this.
Look at that. We're multitasking as we go. And let me go back and I'll show you guys how I'm doing this right now. This is what I do a lot of times with clients. It's like when we're in a call, instead of like saying I'll email you later, I just go on their profile and I'll message them links. Do you do that too? Like
I do. It's easier. Yeah. Keep it all.
And I put it on LinkedIn to force them to use LinkedIn to find the links and the playbacks and stuff like that too.
So you have the jacket right there. I think it's in our messaging. If you scroll up in that message there, you have the jacket right there.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Can I show that up on screen? Obviously, you're okay with it. Look at that. This is amazing looking. Elevate, expand, and engage. I love the artwork, how you've got brand elements in there and also signals of, the directional signals and things like that in there too. So this is great. So is it, will it be only on Amazon Kindle, or will you be selling it direct through your website? What are your plans for distribution?
Well, what happens is in the way with this particular book production, they're giving me a certain amount of copies, and then I can buy copies. My goal in doing this book, and this will shock everybody, and here's the reality: unless you are like a best-selling novelist or something, you don't do books to make money, because you don't make money. I am publishing this book as a business development tool. Okay. So it's an investment in business development. It's the kind of thing where, so I'm giving it away, to my prospects and my clients. And it is something that's going to be for sale. So if people want to buy it, that's great, but it's the kind of thing where I'm not making money on this. So,
well, but that's not your primary goal. You wouldn't mind making money on it. I mean, you wouldn't mind being a New York Times best-selling author. I'm guessing, like, I wouldn't mind it. I'm sure you wouldn't mind it, right?
I will tell you this. In my previous career, in my restaurant marketing career, the books I published, 12 of them, they were door openers.
Yeah.
Okay. They opened doors for me. I got speaking gigs. I became a judge with the National Restaurant Association. I landed like Brinker International, big clients, Fridays, whatever. So that's how I think of this. This book is a door opener. It's a point of differentiation. It's something where I can, use it to give a gift. You know how you'd like to do that on LinkedIn is give somebody something nice, some advice, some insights, tips, whatever. Yeah, that's what it's for. So, you gotta have that expectation aligned with reality. Okay. Yeah. So, as far as promoting it, I feel like I'm kind of caught off guard. I'm
Yeah.
admitted to everybody watching this. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But
No, you do though. But remember, and if you're joining this a little bit late, Judi reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to chat with you because I'm getting ready to. My book is coming up, and I want to just see if you have some thoughts or ideas." So we're kind of like brainstorming a little bit here together. So here's my first thought. I mean, like when I launched my book, and I'm gonna hold up. This is my book, Social Media Pie, and my brand color is pink. This magenta pink. I'm wearing it in the outfit, and I've got pink all over. So I went to uline.com. Uline.com.
I love that.
Not sponsored or endorsed by, but I bought them. So I went on Uline to find envelopes to ship them with. And Uline's got like a gazillion envelopes. And I kid you not, there's a gazillion envelopes. There's white, there's the tan color, there's sparkly ones. I almost did the sparkly ones. But I found these like bright pink magenta envelopes. I'm like, oh, that's like perfect for my brand. Why mail in a boring mailing envelope when you could mail in a bright pink envelope, right? So I'm wondering if there's something that you might be able to do, and it could be a plain white envelope, but maybe you get, and I'm gonna pull the picture of the book cover up so people can see this again. What if you were to create like some stickers and put it on a white envelope that has the Elevate, Expand, Engage letters on it, or just the symbols that are a part of it, so when it comes in the mail, they're like, oh, this is something kind of cool.
Yeah, I love that idea. I love that. I just saw another author. She just printed book plates and nice stickers of part of the graphics. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. And another thing I do, so if you order a book, let me grab one right now. Even though we aren't using these business cards as much as we used to, I put one of my business cards, pink back, of course, on it, into the book. Because I don't know about you, Judi, I get a book and then I'm always like earmarking.
Yep.
My thought is you'll use my business card as a bookmark as you're reading it all the way through. And I got a bunch of business cards I haven't been using because of COVID. So I'm like stuffing these babies in the books as they go out. So that's another tip. Now, these are only for books that you're able to fulfill from home. So
yeah.
Does it sound like you're doing most of the distribution through Amazon, or are you hoping to split it between fulfilling it yourself and Amazon, or what are your thoughts there?
I think for like clients and prospects, it's definitely going to be sent through me.
Yeah. Okay.
It out. It's Ingram Spark is the company that is handling the online distribution. So I think they also go on to Barnes and Noble and a couple of other booksellers. Okay. So if anyone searches like for LinkedIn books or something like that, I'm pretty sure keywords will bring it up.
Gotcha.
So those will be distributed through, I guess, whatever those third-party outlets are.
Yeah.
But again, I mean that's all incremental. That's not, most of it I'm going to be buying. I will actually pay for my books, and you get them as an author price, I guess, and then I'll be sending them out. So yeah, and I don't even know like what an initial print run is. Like when I did my other books, we had 10,000 was the initial print run.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean there were a lot of books out there, and Rizzoli handled the distribution there. They were the publisher, so. This time and that was a different thing. Like back then I had a contract and you get royalties, and it was negotiating with lawyers and all this stuff involved. And now today, I think self-publishing is really a great option.
It is.
The only thing that I found, like from even with my own books before, I still had to do all the marketing. It was all on me, and I got just a what was it, 10% of net revenue, which by the time they extracted all the costs, it wasn't that much. But again, wasn't a moneymaker; it was a door opener.
It's the visibility, and it's to say that you've done the book, right, and you have it out there, and it's a. I mean, I've heard people say it's almost like a fancy business card.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right?
It's like a little brochure, except it's bound, and it's like here's a brochure. And I think people hold things. Like I've got a bunch of books here, that I like to mark them up and hold them and refer to them. I think it's just kind of fun to have that. It's
yeah, and there's so many different formats nowadays too. I mean, you talked about Kindle earlier. We're talking about printed books. I'm in the process of converting or creating, I should say, an audiobook version. And I want to do the voiceover myself. So I'm struggling a little bit. I've got this cool fancy microphone. I don't know if you guys can see the fancy microphone I have right now. But I have, oh gosh, what's it called? It's not Audible. It's like AudioVox or something. I can't think of the name of it, but it's software that you can install to do a book recording. And then you basically can take a chapter sample and you upload it to Audible, and then Audible does a scan and says whether or not it passes their standards. And then once you get that process established, then you have to upload chapters, and there's a whole big process to go through. But I'm having a really hard time with just the technical know-how, like how to work this microphone and how to get the audio levels the right way. And I'm kind of like, I think I'm going to go to like Podcast Detroit and use their microphones there, because I just can't figure it out. But
it'd be interesting. I just thought of with you saying that. I mean, because audio consumption, like with Clubhouse and podcasts and things like that, is really people like to consume that. So what if you took the various chapters, and I don't know how long it would be in the recording, but what if it became a podcast series?
Yeah,
where you go back and listen to it, so you're not getting into the, that's free distribution. You're getting it out there. And then you could have a podcast page, but it just seems like another way. We have a lot of options now to deliver our content. And that's one of the nice things. One of the things I was also looking at is the idea of a soft launch. Because originally I was gonna, in 2020, I guess it was 2020, right? It was 2021. I don't even know what year it is, but
girl, same. I'm like, is it 2022 or 2023 right now? Is it Thursday or Tuesday? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, the 12th day of Oktoberfest. I don't know, Judi.
So my original plan and the original timeline was I always start with an end in mind. So I was going to launch at Social Media World 21, which was last March. Well, that obviously didn't happen. And so I was thinking, since I have a 2021 copyright, to do a soft launch this year, because these books could get, wherever they're coming from, by the time I get the physical copies, it may be a while. But then since I am going to Social World in March of 22, right, next March, do an official launch there where I could actually rent a co-working space and, just do something fun. Because that was my vision, is to do a fun party, to celebrate the book. And I have a lot of people in my network that would just love to meet in person and do that. So that is maybe what I will do. And I think, the idea of, having the card or maybe even postcards and stickers, I just love that, because again, it's like more tchotchkes around it, and it just makes it just that much more memorable. I mean, because isn't that what we try to do with LinkedIn? We try to create a brand and, with everything that we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you're talking about too, like I think about experiential marketing, where it's not just one dimensional. It's when you do a launch party or you hand out stickers or even the mailing pack. I mean, and any of these elements, I think they help to create a greater experience around it. And really, we're talking about marketing and we're creating demand. And I love the idea of a soft launch. I mean, one thing, I don't know if you've done this yet. If you have an email list, it's like, send it out to the email list. And I know you've got the cover design, the book's already at the printer, but what I would do is, like, as steps along the way, I posted on LinkedIn and I said, here's some cover designs I'm considering. What do you guys think? And the first 3 I hated, but my publisher is like, oh, just put it out and see what people think. And I'm like, they came back, they all hated them too. But they're like, somebody's like, you need to be on the cover because that's you're part of your brand. You can't not have that on. And I'm like, I didn't even think about that. I'm like, yeah, I guess I get on the cover. And they're like, we need pie. We need to see a physical piece of pie because that's something, that's part of your brand. Right. Yeah. And it kind of like I involved my, my LinkedIn community and also my email list. I invited them along with me every step of the way. So it was kind of like we were building the book together. And then, the people that did a pre-sale, they were added to my VIP book list and they were invited to VIP launch parties.
Oh, I love that.
So if you bought it early, I mean, I think you got like a couple dollars discount on it, but it really wasn't that much. But if you bought it early, you were part of the launch with me. And then, in my case, similar to you, it's like, I didn't want 2020 as my publishing date because 2020, who wants to remember that year, right? Yeah. So technically it went to the printer in late December and it really didn't hit my doorstep until the first week of January. So 2021 is really when it published. Yeah. And then once I had the books and I started to distribute them, then I started planning once a month a book launch party, and it was a virtual Zoom party. Anybody that was in the VIP list that bought the book, I invited in, and we all did a Zoom. We all held up our books and got pictures. I mean, luckily you're going to be in a time where people are going to be more in person, but hopefully you're probably going to have readers from all across the world. So why not a virtual launch party?
I love that. And one of the things, by the way, I want to say is several of our LinkedIn community have published books this past year.
Yeah.
too. And I deliberately did not order the books because I didn't want to subliminally
Yes, I hear
read
you.
something that all of a sudden then winds up in my book. And then it's like, oh, no.
I don't want them to think I took credit for what they said.
Yes,
Right?
I was very conscious about that. I was like, I don't want to be influenced with anything else except, what I've got built up in this crazy head. Did you disappear? What happened to you?
I'm grabbing some books.
Oh, okay.
Think about this whole fact of how similar we all are in being book publishers, and I had to grab like a handful of books because I was like you. I didn't want to read too many books because I didn't want my content to be influenced by theirs. But I mean, realistically, none of us invented LinkedIn, Judi. I mean, we are all just users of the platform, and we all have different perspectives.
Yes.
So, this is one a LinkedIn lead book by Jennifer Darling. I think this was the first one that I bought. John Esperian.
I got
we already
John.
talked about John, right? So John, it's not a LinkedIn book. It's called Content DNA, but he talks about LinkedIn as a part of it, right? Content DNA, John. We're talking about you. And then we got Bryn Tillman. She has the LinkedIn Sales Playbook.
Got that too. Okay, here we go.
Right? Do you have that one? We're gonna let's play book bingo. Okay. All right. Ryan Roten and Andy Foote, LinkedIn Made Simple. You got that one?
Where is that? Where is it? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I got it here.
Look, isn't this fun? Look at us.
Here it is. Here it is.
I'll wait for you. We'll wait for her.
Look, it's got a flag in it.
Yay, I don't have flags in mine. I did read it though, cover to cover. I read this one in the summer.
Okay.
I read it poolside. Well, let's see. These two I have not read yet. So Lanier Johnson, Linkability. Do you have this one?
Do not have that one. No, that looks like a good one.
She is in Australia, so she's on the Rockstar list too. And then Sandra Long. Do you have this one?
No, I do not. Oh my gosh.
There you go. So Sandra Long. I think she's in. I want to say California. She's on the West Coast someplace. I think there's Sandra Long on there. So I was kind of like that too, Judi. But I actually started. Before I published, I read a couple of other LinkedIn books because the part that I was struggling with is I don't want to write a book that's already been written. I don't want it to be like every other book out there. Oh, which one's that?
This is Monty Clark. And
I have that one.
I found this on LinkedIn, right? I ordered it and then I reached out to him. What I loved about it is he approaches LinkedIn from inbound marketing, which is,
okay.
I love the methodology. But anyway, I met him virtually. And then we got involved in Isaac's group, and so many things happened just from him doing this book. But that was one. And then I have another one here, Tracy Enos.
I don't have that one. LinkedIn Publishing to Profits. Interesting.
Yeah, it's the content.
So I'm going to watch the playback, and I'm going to tag like all of the authors and put the Amazon links in there too, for my own benefit, selfishly, you guys. But for other people, they might be interested too.
So yeah, there's, I go through these, and I think one of my most popular posts was I had a stack of books sitting on the edge of my table, and I took a picture of it, and I tagged some people in it. And then next thing I know, everyone's adding their favorite book, and it's like, hey, what can you add to the list? And it just kept going on and on and on. And it just shows us, and I will tell you this is my all-time favorite book. It's not a LinkedIn book, but this is Ann Handley's book.
Oh yeah, Ann Handley. Mm-hmm. Is it Marketing Profs?
Right? Marketing Profs. Yep, that's it. That's it. Fantastic book. Love that. And I'm a book junkie. I like to hold things physically. It's like ebooks are nice, but
I've got like bookshelves behind me, and if you look, I've got like these are all bookshelves behind me.
I like that color coded.
I did the I do like color coding in my closet too. Like my clothes are in order by color in my closet, but my books are all color coded too. But I periodically move things around because we were talking about this in the beginning in the pre-show. I'm like, I get sick of looking at the same thing in my background all the time. So I'm always trying to keep my book. Where is it? Over here. My book is over here, right?
There it is. Good.
So you want to stage that, right? But then I have like the word smile over here, and sometimes it'll say happy, and sometimes it'll say other words over here.
Oh, you can see what that is. Yeah, I got the dog stuff behind me.
Oh yeah, but it's fun. It's fun to look at. And I did notice. I was going to ask if you had it on your profile yet, and I'm going to pull your profile up because you do have it on here. So coming soon, a refreshingly different approach to winning on LinkedIn. So where are you driving people anywhere that they can sign up for notifications about your book, or where can we go if we want to learn more?
That will happen by next week. We're working on the Convert Kit. If anyone here is a Convert Kit expert, please reach out to me. We're working on the hook on my website so you can sign up and then also get the updated content in the book in case anything's changed. So yeah, that's going to be at judyhayes.com.
But do you have like an email list right now that people could subscribe to while you're waiting for that process to get updated?
If they go to my website, so judyhayes.com.
Is it in your contact info? I'm assuming it is.
Should be. Yeah,
judyhayes.com. Okay, let's see if this is navigating. Okay, and then where do we go?
Up at the top, if you just click on the worksheet thing, and all this is in the process of being changed, you can just tell when it comes to the cobbler kids, they have.
I know.
And this is where people sign up for this, or if they just sign up, that'll go onto my list.
Okay.
That's the
so if I'm not on your list, can I join it, or do you not want me on your list?
Oh gosh, no.
I always like to ask first because I'm always like, I don't want you to feel like I'm.
Brenda, you were the person that I first heard the term co-opetition.
Yes.
And it just, to me, is the epitome of what we should all be about in a community. Because, people that have this like, oh, they're competition. That's like a lacking mentality. That's a fear.
Scarcity, right?
Fear. It's just like, they're going to steal my stuff and I want to let them know. You know what? We learn so much from one another. We're in a bunch of groups together, right? The LinkedIn chat groups, that kind of stuff. So it's co-opetition. There's plenty of business for everybody. If we have a more of a giver mentality instead of a lacking mentality, I think we're all the more stronger. So, that, and all this stuff is in the process right now of being redesigned. So
this is really nice though. I mean, I used to do something like this a while back, and it was like an Excel spreadsheet, but similar in terms of this was like either they got to check if it was done, or I put notes or something. So similar, missing, needs update, or done. It was kind of like using this to start the process off. But a lot of people don't even know where to start. So I think this checklist provides them a way of it's almost like a path, right, to go through and do that process. So since I downloaded that, I'm now in your email list, right?
You are there, and you will see that I am the worst at marketing my own self. So
isn't it funny how we as marketers, you're not the first person. I do the same thing too. I'm like, oh, it's not quite where I need it to be yet, but that's kind of how you get there. It's like what do they say? The cobbler's children's shoes.
They're running around naked. They have no shoes. They got no clothes. They got nothing. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, honestly, my first priority is my clients, and I do my clients' work, and then I do, the admin part of running my business. And when there's extra time, I pretty much don't use it for work.
Yeah.
That's where I try to refuel and get inspired and that kind of stuff. But the other thing that I have in my head here, I wrote down a whole list of things I want to do for the book, is I've started playing around on Instagram. I was really kind of afraid of that channel. And since I have divested from Facebook, I am no longer on Facebook. Instagram's been a lot of fun, and I'm still learning about it. But I thought it'd be great to set up an Instagram account just for the book. So then I can take some random graphics and put out some quotes, and maybe, as I get further into this. Yeah, right now it's all about my dogs and eat and where I live and things I see. It's just kind of a visual eye candy thing.
So similar. I mean, I have my business account is Meller Marketing on Instagram. And that's, right now I'm doing a series of 50 LinkedIn tips on there, but I do have an Instagram just for my book. So if you go to Social Media Pie, it's its own account. And a while back I had an intern, and she was doing regular postings. You can kind of tell if you go through my Instagram feed when her internship ended, because then my post got kind of non-branded again. You can tell it's like, it just stopped, and then you start seeing pieces of pie and different things on here, but I'll get back going again. But I mean, even sharing Amazon reviews from people, I have a whole series of these, so once you get your book sold, you probably know this. So even if they didn't buy it on Amazon, they can give you an Amazon review. And I use my VIP email list. And I said, as soon as you have your book, go on Amazon and give me a review. Give me a 5-star review. I told them, give me a 5-star review.
5-star review, absolutely.
And I even had one person, she gave me a 4-star review. And at the time, I think I only had 10 ratings. So it brought my rating down. And I messaged her and I said, hey, I really appreciate, and it was a really nice review. Great review. I'm just wondering, was it intentional that you gave me 4 instead of 5 stars? If so, if there's something I could improve in the book, let me know. If that was a mistake, would you mind going in and correcting it? Because it's bringing my average rating down. And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I chose 4. I meant to choose 5. So, it feels a little awkward saying I want more than 4. I want 5. But in this case, it was a mistake. It wasn't intentional that she did that.
Well,
So
good for you. I like the way you said it too, because it was kind of a gentle way.
yeah.
It was like, why did you do that?
Well, was that, did you intend to make it a 4-star instead of a 5-star review? So I definitely would recommend setting up a page on Instagram for your book, because then you can keep categorically, you can keep all of your posts and activities and promotions related to the book on that.
Yes.
The only thing is the upkeep. You got to keep it going with posts to keep the page active. So that's where interns come in.
That's where I know, because oh boy, using my own channels, LinkedIn. Like people say, how do I reach you? Message me on LinkedIn, because my email is like a minefield. It's just, and Google thinks it knows what's best for me. It doesn't always, so sometimes things get lost. But LinkedIn, I'm pretty much, you could bet that I'm on it usually every day.
Yeah,
for a good part of the day. But yeah, so that I was thinking of that. I was also thinking of doing maybe taking excerpts from the book. I can't well, because of the copyright. I also publish in Forbes, so I can't take the exact verbatim, but I can take the essence of, and then cross-reference that. I also thought it would be kind of fun to do contests or things like that, where people could win a copy of the book, to be involved in some like trivia of LinkedIn, right? So
have you heard of Wheel of Names, Julie? Judi? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of somebody else in my head. I said Julie instead of Judi. Have you heard Wheel of Names? So let me show this right now. We're actually going to do a drawing right now for my book while I'm demonstrating this. Ready for this? So I'm going to go to Wheel of Names because I'm going to demonstrate this tool, and then we're going to do a drawing for a book. So if you guys want to win a copy of my book, go into comments right now and write the word book, BOOK. It is only for people that are watching this live. If you watch this in playback, you do not get a chance on my book. So wheelofnames.com is the name of this website, Judi. I'm going to put it on a banner up on screen. I learned about this from John Asperian. He's used this for some of his giveaways and stuff. It's absolutely free. So when you first go there, you're going to have the wheel, which is in the primary colors. You can go into customize at the top, and then I can change the colors on the wheel. So if I go into appearance, I can change the blue to my brand color, which, let's see, hex, that's what I'm looking for. So my pink is A11060. Oh my God. I can change the pink to that one. And I don't know all the other ones, but if I go A11060, I can find like variations of it. So I can kind of go to a purple, and then maybe I leave the yellow on there. I don't know. And then I click on OK. So now at least I've got some brand colors in there. You can also go in customize, and you can upload the image in the center of the wheel. So let's see if I click on upload image, and then I'm going to see how fast I can do this. Let's see how fast I can do this. Book. And then I've got an author page where I shared a copy of it. So I could grab a copy of my book. Look at that. Uploaded. Yes. And now it's changing the colors based on just what I put in there. I want to go back to my pink, and I'm going to disable a couple of these other ones in here.
When it thinks it knows what you want.
It does. So it's close enough, though. At least I got my pink color in there. So there it is. So this is wheelofnames.com. Absolutely free. Let's see. Joey is probably going to win a book because he's the only person so far who has put in book in comments. So if you want to win a copy of the book, you got to put your name in comments right now, or rather the word book in comments right now. So Joey is the only person who's done that. I got to put Joey's name in there. So let's just say there were other people. I'm going to put Michael, Gabe, Judi, Brenda. I'm going to put a couple other names in here just to show you guys how this builds. So you basically, if you had an Excel file, Judi, you could just drop the Excel list in here. If you don't have an Excel file, then you could just type in people's names, just like I'm doing right now. So Joey, you're going to get a copy of the book because you're the only person doing this right now. But let's see, who is it? Mary put it in here too. I'm just putting a couple names to do this as an example. So as you type the names in, it builds that wheel out in there. So that's it, wheelofnames.com. And it's virtual, so you can host it from anywhere. You can do this in a Zoom call, just like I did in the StreamYard call here too. Like that. Nicole wants a book. Hey, Nicole. It's going to be Nicole and Joey. Look at this.
Uh-oh, it's down to the two. Uh-oh.
Should give it like 10 seconds more. So, you know, Judy, there's like a 30-second delay between the time I say drop a comment in chat to the time that people hear me saying that, and then they have to type a comment in, and then it's like, you know, it takes a little while to get there. All right, so we're just gonna go with the 2 people. And then once you got the names in there, then you just click on the wheel. And I do like they do in Vegas. When I click on it, I hold my hands up so you guys can see I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating. That's kind of fun. People get a kick out of that.
And does it like balloons and stuff go off? How do you know who wins?
Oh, sparkle magic automatically. Hey, Nicole, you want a copy of Social Media Pie? Message me on LinkedIn with your mailing address, and I will get that in the mail to you this week. Isn't that fun, Judy?
I love that. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
There you go. So giveaway. So what else? You had some other questions you said.
Okay, I wrote down, what was this thing here? Teaser, post, website landing page, company page. Have you thought about that? Because I know like some people have podcasts and they do a podcast as a company page because of the way the algorithm works. So have you, what's your thoughts about creating a company page for the book?
Yeah. So I'm an opportunistic marketer. I'm going to take you to my profile right now and show you exactly what I did. I could have just left it under Meller Marketing and called myself an author, and I could have given myself a promotion on Meller Marketing as author, and then a notification would have went out and said, "Congratulate Meller, Brenda Meller, I'm being named author at Meller Marketing." But instead, I added it as a whole other page on LinkedIn. Wow. Social Media Pie is the name of the business. It's a subsidiary of Meller Marketing LLC. I put my name as author, and then underneath that in the description field, I put a description of the book. And I have a little bit of a, salesy, like, what are you going to learn if you read the book? And then I have some links in here as well. So I think this one is the link to the Amazon. So it's right inside my profile. The next one is, what is that? Is this a video? Oh, this is my web page on my website. So I've got 2 of those in here.
Oh, nice.
as links in there.
Okay.
And then under Social Media Pie 2, I mean, Social Media Pie is my book, but I also call it my live interview series is Social Media Pie Live. So I'll put some of the information about podcast guests, speaker opportunities, things like that underneath there. And then when you go to the page for Social Media Pie, I created a header. This is like one of my favorite parts, with pictures of people holding my book.
Oh, I love that. That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
And that was created in canva.com, a girl's best friend. I'm sure. Do you use Canva too, Judy?
I sure do. The pro version. Yes.
So the only thing is you want to make sure that you're not hiding. Like John Asperian is the one in the bottom right-hand corner. So it's just covering the book in that image of the header. I should probably redo it so we can see John holding the book in there. But it kind of looks like the book is a lot bigger than it is. I mean, I am super happy with the success of the book, but I haven't sold millions of copies. I've sold hundreds of copies, but by using a technique like that, it shows the amount of community support. And these are genuine smiles, sometimes behind a mask, but genuine smiles of people holding the book and celebrating it.
Now, how did you get those pictures? Like, how did you activate that?
So part of it was when you were on my VIP email list, you did a pre-order. I sent emails saying the book is on its way, or in some cases I delivered the book. And I would say, take a picture when you get it and hold the book up in the picture and post it on social media using the hashtag Social Media Pie the book. Tag me when you do so. So they would remember one or the other. They would either tag me or they would tag the book. Sometimes they would do Brenda Miller. They would misspell. So I had to kind of search for it. But anytime they would do that, I would just save a copy of the picture down, and I put it in a folder on my computer and just saved all these pictures down. And I would create photo shows of them, banners. I would do social media posts. So I would just start merchandising it out. And then anytime I did, I would tag the person who was in the photo. Here's Roy Sexton, here's Mavita Burris, here's Lori Jo Vest. And I would say, thank you for your support of the book. And that would help them to get more visibility too. So.
Oh, I love that. And I love the way you tied it together and using the power of the platform.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people don't do company pages and they're like, oh, I don't need one. It's like, well, you're missing out, because it's to be seen. Now, have you done articles, like posts here as articles or little excerpts or anything?
So not within this page. this page I try to post like once a month just to keep content going. If people do post, a picture of themselves in the book, and Shauna, I just saw her for lunch, so we took a picture together.
Wow.
So usually what I do is I just reshare posts out onto this page. I mean, I certainly could, using the right article, I could take excerpts from the book, or I could even, publish a little bit of my self-publishing book journey and have it sit on LinkedIn.
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah. The articles feature came out after I published the book, so it was more of like it's an afterthought for this page. I did pull a lot of content from my book from my articles that I had written in blogs and things over the years, similar to what you were talking about. Now, I didn't have to worry about the copyright because I wrote it there and I wrote it in my book. It wasn't like it was going into Fortune or Forbes or, any other publication. So I didn't have to worry about that part. But that is definitely something you could do.
I have another idea that to share. This book Gap Selling by Keenan.
Yeah.
I love this book.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And what he's done is these book clubs. You know how you meet and you do like a book club where you go over, read a chapter, and then people talk about it. And he's done it through live. And I just thought that was really interesting, is like to get like a book study group.
Yeah.
Kind of a book study group, and you go through each of the chapters, and then you go in a deeper dive, and you could do that too with your live platform, is to do a study group and say, take each of the chapters and go a little bit deeper. Because again, the whole point is why we're doing this, besides, the visibility, obviously, is to help people, just learn different things.
Yeah.
So I think,
and I'm assuming you'll have a web page on your website. If you go to my website, I have a link at the top that says book.
Yes.
So it takes you right to this page. And I have a video of myself. If you're on the fence about buying the book, I try to convince you why you should buy it so you can watch that. And there's a little bit of information. There's buy autograph copy now. That's buying it direct from me. Or if you want to buy it on Amazon, I give people the link. And then, here's my ask. Could you write me a customer review? And I actually have the link. So if you click on this, it takes you right to the page. After you log in, of course, on Amazon, it takes you right to the page where you would give the review. This is my book VIP notification list. So if you sign in and opt into this, you'll get notifications of when the book becomes an audiobook or any other phases in there. And then underneath, Judi, this is like the book publishing journey. So these are posts I've done on LinkedIn about my book.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
So I don't know if this helps to give you some ideas,
Absolutely. No, that's absolutely. Let me ask you, is this WordPress?
So I'm actually on Kajabi right now. I was on Wix in the beginning, and I started it out on Wix, and then I moved it over to Kajabi. Kajabi is kind of like all in one. So it has email opt-in, funnels. There's sales pages on there. So I can link to Stripe and PayPal and things like that. So it's kind of just all in one. I mean, it's really not for somebody just starting out. It's like if you're doing webinars and coaching and things like it makes sense. It's a little bit more expensive, but I like the platform. It works pretty well. But you can do this on WordPress. I mean, you can do this on any website, really.
Okay. Yeah. I have a couple of different. I have ConvertKit, which is the lead generation part of my website, and it's a WordPress website. But I've heard good things about Kajabi and also Kartra, which I think is similar to Kajabi. Did you set it up yourself, or did you bring in like a?
I did. So when I first set up Kajabi, I was working with a firm that was helping with some of the pages. It didn't quite work out. My expectations were a little bit different than when they could deliver on it. So I worked with them for about 3 months. They did help me get some of the pages set up initially. But for me, I'm always like the kind of person, like I want to roll up my sleeves. I want to know how the website works, because if I have a problem in the middle of the night, I want to be able to go in and fix it. Yeah. I didn't want to completely outsource it. And I've had some interns helping me with the web page management. Right now, I'm at the point of like, I probably should need to get a VA because I'm doing a lot of administrative. But I don't know about you. Like, I like being able to do it myself, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Especially when something breaks. You don't want to be. Well, right now I'm having a little bit of a challenge getting the ConvertKit hook set up because somebody did it for me before. So I'm diving in and learning it.
Yeah.
But again, if somebody knows ConvertKit, reach out to me. Because
if you guys don't ConvertKit,
because I'm really good at like coming up with ideas and things, but it's the implementation that kind of bogs me down.
Yeah.
That kind of gets you.
Well, we're nearing the end of our hour. I want to be respectful of your schedule and your time, Judi. Did we get your questions all answered?
Absolutely. One question: have you thought of creating a workbook for your book?
I have. I was actually talking to someone the other day who is a he's head of an EMBA program, I think out in Iowa or something. And I was telling him about my book, and I've had conversations with a couple other college professors as well that would say, we'd love to carry your book, but we need something that we can actually use in the classroom. So if you had like a PowerPoint slide deck that could accompany it along with a workbook, and then we could work it into the curriculum. And I'm like,
that's wonderful.
Sounds like a lot of work.
But you did it already. It's just a matter of, that's one of the things at the end of each chapter, I have a list of action items.
Yeah.
So here's some things you can do. It's sort of like a recap of the chapter. But yeah, I mean, the hard work was coming up with the book, right?
Yeah.
The workbook is more or less, okay, take these ideas and actually, you know, have your checklist, so to speak.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it could definitely. And I think there's different things I would do in the next update of the book too. You know, some different takeaways and things like that. And workbook would be one of them. But it's, I mean, you know, you've been through this before with publishing a book. It's a journey. And then you get to a certain point where you're just like, as with childbirth, just get this child out of me. I don't want it. Like, get the book out. I'm done.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's really cool. Brenda, this has been great. Thank you so much for inviting me on your show. And I'm sorry if I'm not, I need to be looking at the camera up there.
Oh no, we're good. I was giving Judi my my pre-show tips, and I'm always like, look at the camera, and I always like tap my camera when I tell people, because it's hard. Like, we want, as a human being, we want to look at another human being's eyeballs. We don't want to look at like the video camera, but it looks so much better. So yeah. Judi, it has been a delight chatting with you today. Thank you so much for being on. And I'm looking forward to pre-ordering your book. So let me know when it's available. I want to be able to support you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
All right, guys. So as we wrap here today, I just want to remind you of a few things. The first is, if you are just starting to watch this video now, you can still leave a comment below, because Judi and I will watch the playback later. And if you haven't shared anything on LinkedIn yet this week or even this month, we would love it if you could go, when the video ends, go and share it. Click on that share button and share the video with your network. You never know when there's a message in here that might help somebody in your network, and it counts as a LinkedIn post. So if you haven't been active, it's a great way of spreading the word to others in your network. We'd love it if you could do that. And with that said, I want to thank everyone for watching here today. We look forward to seeing all of you on LinkedIn. And I think, Judi, you're open to invitations from people, right? If they connect with you on LinkedIn, are you open to accepting those connections, or what's your philosophy there?
I just ask people, just write context. Don't do a generic invitation. Just tell me, oh, I saw you on Brenda's show, or whatever. Yeah, I do accept invitations. Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to drop her LinkedIn URL up on screen real quick. I'm trying to navigate as I was trying to vamp a little bit as you were doing that, but I did not do very well. I didn't go fast enough. There we go. So there's Judi Hayes' profile URL on LinkedIn. Mention that you watched her on the show if there's something that was particularly helpful, or if you've got a tip for Judi as she is finishing her book publishing process, do leave that in the invitation. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you around LinkedIn. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
I'm trying to find my outro video. Okay, here it is.